wake up from a deep sleep and you can't move or speak. Your body's completely paralyzed. WTF is going on? You might have hallucinations during your paralysis where you see a threatening presence on top of you or beside your bed. There's a crushing sensation in your chest, like you can't breathe. You might feel like you're floating above your body and looking down on yourself, or that you're hurtling quickly through a long, dark tunnel. Sounds terrifying, right? This phenomenon is called sleep paralysis, and it'll happen to half of us at least once in our lifetime. The Chinese call it gui ya, which means ghost pressure, and they believed that a ghost would sit on the sleeping person. Europeans interpret it as abductions by a witch who would assault you and force you to take a fast ride on a broomstick. In the West Indies, it was called kokma, which referred to a ghost baby who would jump on you and attack your throat. And 4 million Americans, to this day, believe it to be an alien abduction in their sleep. A study recently published in the Clinical Psychological Science Journal found that the aftermath of being paralyzed in your sleep can be really scary and traumatic, but that it's infinitely less stressful when patients have a scientific understanding of why it happened. During REM sleep, the most dream-filled part of sleep where the brain's really active, our muscles become paralyzed by 2 chemicals, glycine and GABA. This muscle paralysis is important because while you're dreaming, you might be fighting off dragons or running off a cliff, and I'm just guessing here, but you probably don't want your body acting that out. Sleep paralysis then happens when you wake up and the glycine and GABA are still being released. Cue paralysis and hallucinations and general freakiness. The good news is that even though it's frightening, it's never dangerous, and it only lasts a few moments.
So what you just learned about was the amazing phenomena of sleep paralysis. So when I was given the task of this assignment, I figured I wanted to do something that was unique enough where it would be very specific to me, but I still somehow wanted it to be relatable to other people. So I figured, and I concluded after thinking a lot about it, that I would do sleep paralysis because it is a very common case that many people I know, and scientifically it's also proven that a lot of people experience. And this is something that I have had many personal accounts on for like the past 4 to 5 years of my life. It began my freshman year of high school, and I'm a sophomore in college now, so it's been quite a ride for me. And it sounds like it's really scary, and it is. It's extremely terrifying, and you don't really know what to do at that moment when it's happening for you, especially in the beginning stages, because eventually you kind of understand like little tips and tricks like how to get rid of it. But in the beginning it was very scary, but I don't know, I feel like although it's a very big part of me, it's something that doesn't really frighten me anymore. It's something that I know that I'll be prepared for when the time comes, and I feel like there's a lot of comfort that I can get from that. So a big thing that I wanted to get out of this was that not only did I want to educate people on the subject of sleep paralysis, but I also wanted people to know that they're not alone. And I know it's an extremely terrifying thing, and you don't really know where to go about it once it first happens to you, because I remember feeling very vulnerable and confused and very perplexed by this whole phenomena, and I did a lot of research on it eventually, and when I became more accustomed to it throughout my experiences, I learned that there are little things that you can do while it's happening to alleviate the action of you being awake while your body is sleeping. So a couple things that I learned now is that I like wiggle my toes, which is like kind of weird, but it shows that there is some sort of movement going on in your body that kind of then transitions into your entire body moving on its own, so that kind of triggers it to wake up. And other things is that I am very conscious about my breathing, and once I pay attention to my breathing and I don't just go crazy and I start feeling like all these hallucinations and hyperventilations, like I just become very conscious of my breathing to control it, and eventually it goes away. And I think the weirdest thing about sleep paralysis is that it feels like it can last like an hour, maybe not an hour, but like for me it has felt like it's lasted for a very long time, and in reality it's only been like a couple minutes. So that being said, there is a comfort that comes with knowing that whatever you're experiencing in that moment doesn't necessarily mean that it's happening exactly in that way in real life. So I've learned through my experiences that I really need to appreciate my sleep and value it a lot, and really take into consideration of how to properly maintain good sleep hygiene, and I hope people will really start understanding the meaning of sleep better. What does sleep mean to you?
Sleep is refreshing and it's good for you.
Sleep is when you get in your comfy mattress or the comfy comforter and you have a nice relaxation period where your body gets to refresh itself.
Sleep means temporary death.